Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is the Pirtek challenge and ready for some action. After a little bit of a rocky start, I went to the gas station. I was first up this morning, 3 a.m. I thought, let me get to the gas station nice and early, get set up, get ready to go, get down, be the first on the water and get out there. And I had one spot which I'm going to right now, which I needed to be on before light. And although I could only cast the first lure or the first bait at 6 a.m. However, gas station had a glitch in their software and unfortunately couldn't make any sales at all, so I couldn't get fuel. I had to do some wangling and wheeling and dealing, and I found a little place here where I launched in Brooklyn and managed to get some fuel there. So anyways, a few hours late from where I wanted to be, but anyways, we're going to get on the spot today. We're going to have a great time. The weather is overcast today, a little bit of rain, different conditions, but we have had good preparation coming into this tournament. There's 6 species for us on the cards today, and we're going to go and find them. So let's get on it, guys, and let's go have some fun in the Pirtek Challenge 2023. Let's go. So just a little setup today, and I'm just checking my hooks. I'm going to be starting off on a point where there is some cranking involved. You know, being a little bit late is a bit of a concern, but that's okay. I'm just going to get a few cranks, and the tide is actually ripping in this morning. It's really fast. Just making sure all the hooks are bent right and cleaned up and ready to go, so that they're not going to break if I catch a good fish. And that's really where we are with this. So this morning, a bit of cranking. We've seen that lure with me before. We're going to check that out today, see if we can get a big fish on that, hopefully a brim or something like that. I'm then going to be using a secondary crank which looks a little bit like a prawn. It's a new bait that I've been using and it's something I'm trying out. That's going to be something that I'm going to just back up the bigger bait with and you know, see if I can get a brim bite. That's what I'm after at the minute. And then of course the trusty paddle tail, I've always got that around. Most certainly we've seen this one before, but that's a little follow-up bait. So if I get a fish that hits a bait, I'll just follow up with that little paddle tail, and usually I can get a strike like that. So you can see we're ripping down this bank right now. I'm going to be fishing into the current this way, and we're going to be just checking the area out. I'm just going to dab around, see what's available, and then I've got to move out because I'm going to be going up another creek to go and get some big flatheads. So we've got to start, we've got to get going. Competition day, I'm so excited. It's really a good time, and let's get on this campaign to see if we can win one of these divisions. Let's go. But just really going quickly through our first spot here to see if we could get a brim bite, and at the minute there's everything's very quiet. I've slowed down really good. It's almost time to move and get to the next spot. So I've got a few more casts, 5 or 6 casts left in this area, and then we're going to move back. This is a good time to talk about the Pirtek Challenge. So the Pirtek Challenge is a national fishing tournament, and it is a tournament that funds a cancer research program, something that I hold quite dear to my heart because I know people who have cancer, and I've had to deal with a bit of skin cancer and so on as well from the sun. So it's always good to have research out there, and there are 5 species. Oh, there's a fish right now. Little flathead to start us off. That's not really going to count or anything. But little flathead anyways to start us off. That's a good thing. So I'm on that drop. I'm getting the first bites today on that crankbait, nice and slow. You can see there's a big lip on that. I'm getting it nice and low down, get right onto the bottom, and that's what's taking it. So let me just get that off and I'll continue my story. How about that? First fish for the Pirtek Challenge this year, but that ain't gonna do it. So I'm just gonna put it straight back in the water. Lovely little flathead, shows the bites on. but we got some work to do. There we go, catch and release on my shows. We can go back to where it came from and get a lot bigger. Let's get back into it again, and as I was saying, there's 5 species of fish that we are fishing for here on the Hawkesbury River today, and 6th one because of the East Coast division being bass as well. And you know I like to go for the bass, and so great, we've got that little extra, so that's 6 species in all, the little extra bonus there. And my biggest bass ever actually comes off the Hawkesbury River, believe it or not. And so I really think that if I can get the baits in the right place, I could get something really big. But that's what the competition is all about, you know. It's about research, and it's about the whole country. To win this tournament, you're going to have to get a massive beast of a fish to even compete. So that's what we're after. Nothing's impossible. And there are 2 boats for the prize winners. I think those are actually randomly selected, but there is division wins. I think there's definitely top 5, maybe top 10 prizes as well, per division, per species. And you're competing with the rest of the country, which is kind of cool. So yeah, everything counts out here, everything counts. Fish now, and yeah, that crankbait seems to be working really well. It's one that I'm testing, and guess who are active this morning? That's a really good sign for the next spot that we're going to, because that's definitely what I'm looking for, those giants that I fished before. But you can see how it absolutely nailed that crankbait. And yeah, I mean, they seem to be liking it, sitting right on that edge where I thought they would be. I'm hoping they've got a couple of brim in those. Let me get this fish off, release it, and back in the game. And there we go, there's our number 2 catch for this morning, so happening really fast. Big mama needs to come out, but we know where those big mamas are. I'm going to spend a little bit more time here, and then I've got to leave, and I've got to hit that tide up in the area where we're going to get some giants like this, and we need one over a meter if we're even going to contend. So put this one back. Thank you very much, baby. You are a baby though. And there you go, back in the water. We need big mama. Let's keep on at it. Guys, this is the deal. I just think that this is not happening to brim right now. Look, the tide is still low, but we've had 2 good little flathead take the bait. It's telling us something, isn't it? It's telling us that we need to move to an area where we can focus on that, because the bite is on. And if the bite is on with those flathead, because they're low tide feeders, we need to get onto that spot. So I'm going to shoot up to a good spot that I know, and we're going to go up there and we're going to see if we can get some giants. Time. Let's do it, people. Time is everything in fishing. You got to hit it at the right time to get the big fish. Good job. We're on the spot right now, fantastic, and just going to put first baits into the main area, and I'm going to be starting off with the flathead campaign first of all, one of the species of 5 here on the Hawkesbury River. We've got Ludwig, we've got Taylor, we've got George Whiting, we've got brim and flathead, and then also a 6th species, which is bass, which is the East Coast division as well. Now what you got to do here is you've got to get the biggest fish, so it's all big fishing today. And I've marked on our pre-fish some good fish that I know, and we're going to see if we can get those shortly as I go up. Sun's coming out for the first time today. We do expect a bit of rain today. We've got an incoming tide going, so I'm going to plug away. I'm going to see if we can get those bites. Well, tight lines everybody. Here's our first casts in our main area, and I'm going to be following these edges up, and as seen on previous shows, you know, those ledges that get flooded, and that's where the bigger fish are going to sit. I've got a few good places that I've marked some fish, so I'm going to quickly move through this all over here, really just moving the bait, you know, as efficiently as I can, and see if we can get a good bite on the way in. But yeah, there's some very good hot spots that I'm hoping to really get into, and I've got to really be quick because this tide is already ripping in and it's already flooded up, so it's slightly different conditions to the pre-fish, but I'm quite positive that those fish are still going to be around those areas that we caught them before, because flathead are very territorial and they like to set up in the same areas, and if we get to those areas, we've got a good chance of getting the bait in front of them. So same bait, same setup as before. I've got a couple of crankbaits. There we go. So the bait fish are already on it. Look at that. There's your tailor coming up, and that's the food that the bigger fish are looking for. So if the tailor are active, you know that you've got a chance to get a good catch. Now you can see this opening here. This is a good area for a fish to be sitting in. They'll stage over here, and as the bait fish come in to go and feed, and also to find shelter inside the back of the little bays here, they will sit outside here and they will be ready, hopefully, to take a bait. Right, coming across now to a hotspot area which I will really fish thoroughly, and this is where we got that big beast last time. I marked this on my GPS. I'm coming across now and I'm going to start fishing that area, because there is a chance that fish will be set up in the same place, because flathead generally set up in the same place every tide, and that's how they feed. And they bury themselves in the sand and they keep their eyes just above the surface of the bottom, and they wait for bait to come to them. So I'm just going to plod along this bank here, and I'm going to work all these areas, because over there was where we got that big fish last time, and we're not going to lose it today. We've got to really get it on if we do get that fish. But there'll be others around here, and although the weather conditions are a lot different, and the water conditions are slightly different, the chances are there's going to be some good fish around here. So let's go, let's get into it and keep our cast as accurate as possible, and really move that bait around and see if we can get a big bite. And there's other species around as well. You know, you'll get a bream around here as well, with all these rocks and so on, but they do set up in specific areas, and those areas we've got to target while the conditions are right on top of that area that we got that big fish last time. So you can see I'm in here in stealth mode, sniper mode, and I'm just letting the current take us across here very slowly. And if that fish is set up, it'll be set up in a very similar situation that it was before. So nice and engaging with the bottom, and I'm just really slowly fan casting it to the edge and back, and see if we can get that same result. I have the net ready this time, so it's all ready to go. We don't have any issues, and we've got to really swipe that fish into the net if we do get it. Maybe here, maybe not here, but generally from what I know, these fish, they like to set up and hang in an area, and there's an opening just here, and that's where that fish was last time. It was just over this side here. So really trying to entice another bite here. Very slow and methodical, and I may hover a little bit on this spot just to see if we can get that bite. Really engaging it with the bottom. Okay, we've got 3 meters of water here, and that drop off is just up ahead of us, so that's why we need to take a bit of time here and just keep that bait down at the bottom. Make sure there's some tailor nibbling. The tailor will want to go back into the back to feed, and we're getting bites. We're getting bites all the time, but we know that bite we want. But there we go. Right, there's one fish. Nope, I still got it. There's a fish. Oh, it's just a little guy though. There we go. It's a good sign though, because there it is. We've got a bite on this tactic that we just started now. So that is relevant, very relevant. So nice specimen, Okay, in the quest to get that bigger fish, you saw how we tactically have set ourselves up to get close to that bank. And there is one of the little males, so that's the first sign of a take on that bait. There's our bait that we've been using. So that's the best sign we've had so far, that we're doing the right thing. And it's worth following this bank because of that. So I'm just going to flip it off, turn the bait upside down, flip it up, goes back in the water nicely, and we're going to stay right at it. Always, of course, checking. Look at that. See how that happens? And that was retied. And just, if I feel the end of the line, I've got little nicks on there, you know what I mean? And those little guys will do that. So you want to retie every time. You see how that broke above the knot, which means that line was scarred. Time to retie, get back in. I think we're on a better wicket at the minute, so let's move up this bank and keep on trying. Let's go. Rain does not cancel play, and it's just part of it. And any fisherman who would go home right now because it's raining would mean they're not really that keen on fishing. Suited up today. I've got my very unique cap, which helps immensely in the rain. It keeps the camera dry, it keeps me dry, it keeps me motivated because I'm not getting rain in my face. It may look a little uncool, or it may look very cool, who knows. But one thing's for sure, you can hear the rain right now, and it's really coming down. I've got waterproof gear on, I've got waterproof shoes on, so I can essentially be out here all day and still be very comfortable. So let's get back to it. I think I'm onto something now, and we can work, you know, we can work this. We've got time to really sit and work on this giant that we need for the Pirtek challenge. Let's get on it. All right, we got one on here. Still not the one we're after, but big enough that I will need the net on it. There we go. All right, so there's one, our first decent one coming in. It's not massive by any means, but it most certainly is an indication of the right bank. So within about a 100-meter stretch of this bank, I've come with 2 flathead, which is really good. I'm going to need my tongs for this one because it's a little bit bigger, and it is a great sign. It really is, because this is what we're looking for to get that bigger fish. Obviously very lively and very unhappy with me, as you can see. Very lively, very unhappy, but there you go. So it's getting bigger. We're going to need one at least 30 times the size of that if we're going to even get it to count. But it does show. We've got bites, and that's in a small space of time. So the bait is working, we know that. Our tactic is working, that is great. So we can keep on working it, and hopefully we can come across the big female. But there it is. Release it back in the water. Thank you, buddy. You're not big enough, and I'm not even going to put you on the scale today because you won't do anything for me. So well done. There it goes, back in the water. And we'll continue working. Well, that was a nice catch, that one. So again, we're checking everything. There you go. There's the break. And notice again, you see it didn't break on the knot. It actually broke up the line, which means that had been nicked. So retie. That's what you got to do. And I'm going to put a brand new leader on because I think we're on a good tactic here, and I think we had a chance of getting that big one we need. So let me get this sorted, and we'll get straight back out there. So I've got a brand new leader on now, and I'm just tying this bait on, and the rain may actually be helping a little bit, I'm not sure, but one thing's for sure is our ratio has come up quite nicely. The fish are better quality size. We've definitely found out where they're located, which is very important, and so now we've got to try and match that and match that and match that and play the numbers until we can get that much bigger bite. Now I've got a much longer leader because I intend to catch a lot of fish now, to try to get that ratio up so that we can have a possibility of getting that big fish. Go through the numbers, and you'll eventually find that big one. Always leaving a little bit there, just as an extra. Can you see it there? Maybe a bit long. So it tightens onto itself, and it's all good. Bait's looking good. A little bit of a spray, of course. I like to keep spraying it. Just keep that scent going, and that just helps us to mask any smells, but also it keeps it kind of attractive for the fish. Who knows, it might even help them actually want to take the bait. All right, let's get back to it. It's beautiful, it's raining, but it's beautiful. Let's go. There we go. Right, that's another fish. Good. Don't know how big it is. It might be, yeah, it's a little guy. He's a bit bigger than most, but he's not bad. He's getting bigger, but not the one we're looking for yet. First cast after rigging again. There it is. So we're definitely on to the right thing. We found the area where they're sitting. They're sitting in numbers, and the rain may be helping us. As far as I can see, we're getting some good bites. And you know, a big fish can make a mistake when the weather's a little off. So that's a good thing. But lots of little males around, lots of little babies around. And I'm just going to shake this one off quick. There we go. And of course I've got to retie again, because that will definitely, although that one didn't get the line, I was quite quick in getting it out the water. But it does show you, see, straight back in, boom, there we are again. We're on the right track. We've got to keep working it. All right, just going fishing now, you know, up the bank. Just working with the tide now and just moving in slowly. And lots of little ones again, and we know that leads us, you know, that leads us to the bigger fish. So we just got to keep on going. Numbers. And yeah, I mean, we're getting close. Why is it the weather forecast never ever gets it right until you go fishing? Yeah, man, it's definitely bucketing down here, and you know, it slowed down the bites a little bit for now, but I'm just going to keep on persisting. And thank goodness I've got this bimini, man, because I wouldn't be able to film in this otherwise, because it's just pouring at the minute. So fortunately we set up for our fishing, and we make sure that we've got everything for every condition. And yeah, I mean, this is one of those extreme, complete reversals to some of the shows you've seen me, where the skies are beautiful and they're blue and it's just the birds are singing. Fishing is fishing though, you know, and there is no quitting just because of rain. So, you know, you just stay dry. That's the big thing about fishing, you know. If you can stay warm, you stay dry completely, you can fish at any time. So this is it. This is what it's all about. This is the thrill of being a fisherman. And all we need now is a big giant fish, and then we would have accomplished something.